Bien, je vous propose d'écouter maintenant Monsieur Stevenson.
We are all here because we share a very great and deep concern for the people of Ashraf. Yesterday when I arrived, I spoke to a young lady who is here in the audience. She told me that her sister is in Ashraf. I said, I really hope your sister was not one of the people injured during the massacre on the 8th of April, during that violent, horrific attack. She said to me that she was sprayed by high-pressure boiling water and scalded. I had not heard that this had occurred. So when 2,000 military personnel with armoured vehicles attacked these 3,400 unarmed civilians and shot them down like rabbits, ran over them with tanks, crushing them to the ground and spraying girls with boiling water. They went there to murder, to maim, to cause maximum disfigurement and injury and death. And there has been no remorse from Nouri al-Maliki and his government. I went to Baghdad 2 weeks after that massacre with a small delegation from the European Parliament to remonstrate with President Talabani, with Foreign Minister Zabari, with al-Najafi, the Speaker of the Parliament, with the leaders of the Iraqi government. Nouri al-Maliki was absent in South Korea. And we said this kind of behavior is absolutely unacceptable. We are trying to help in the European Union the rebuilding of Iraq. And this is how you repay what we are doing, by a massacre of unarmed civilians. As Mrs. Rajavi has just outlined, he has asked for the 3,400 residents to apply for individual asylum, and immediately 3,400 applications arrived on his desk. The capacity for organisation of the PMOI should never be underestimated. And these people now are protected persons under international law. And Nouri al-Maliki should pay attention to this. We will not tolerate any further violence or attacks on the people of Ashraf. But it's time that the OHCHR took some action. We need a combined strategy from the UN. We need protection of these people while UNHCR carry out their individual interviews and the registration process of all these refugees goes ahead. We need the blue flag of the UN flying above this refugee camp, because that's what it is. And until we get that level of protection, these people continue to be at risk. I was handed today a statement taken from the official website of the Foreign Ministry of Iraq by the Deputy Foreign Minister, stating Iraq is determined to close Ashraf base by the end of this year. They are far from expressing remorse about what happened in April. They're sticking to this ridiculous deadline, which is unacceptable, unachievable, and must be cancelled. We do not need threats. We do not need intimidation. We do not need the continued psychological torture going on around Camp Ashraf with the loudspeakers Mrs. Rajavi spoke about. Ladies and gentlemen, in the years I have been engaged in this issue, we have variously heard all of the misinformation, all of the stories, the lies. I have at various times been told, but wait a minute, these people are terrorists. Well, repeated court cases in Europe have said that they are not terrorists. And now the federal court in Washington, D.C. has said they are not terrorists. And please, Mrs. Hillary Clinton, take notice of what your courts are telling the State Department. We have repeatedly been told this Camp Ashraf, these people in there, they are part of a cult. These people are not part of a cult. They are freedom fighters who want to restore freedom and democracy to their homeland of Iran. The lies and misinformation which has dogged our policy and our strategy all of these years, the time for negatives is finished The time for action has arrived. First of all, cancel this ridiculous and threatening deadline for clearing Ashraf by the end of this year. Secondly, provide protection now. Put the blue flag over this refugee camp. It's not a lot to ask, but it's what we are all here today asking for. Thank you very much.